Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the banks of the River Brent in West London. The beating, hearting pulse of our capital city is our rivers. They provided the means to transfer goods, services, people to distribute throughout the whole of the United Kingdom since the Celts and the Romans turned up and gave birth to this capital city of the United Kingdom. It'll come as no surprise that even the River Brent here in majestic, glorious West London has massive problems. Indeed, right now, there are at least 7 blocks of flats along this river not actually connected to the sewage system, and every time somebody uses the loo and pulls that chain, guess where it ends up? Right here in the River Brent. How bad is it? We're about to find out. Test number 1, as is now traditional, the nitrate test. You will remember nitrate, it is a food source, it's a nutrient. It actually encourages algae, that leads to bacteria, that leads to oxygen crashes, that leads to fish kills. It's bad. Anything over 5 parts per million is bad. So here we are on the banks of the River Brent. Our first test for nitrates. It's a fail and a big one, 3 times over the level for what it should be. Will we ever find a river that passes this test? Behind me is what is gently referred to as a sewage overflow. In other words, when the local system can cope, that big metal trap opens, dumps sewage straight into the river, and as you can see the remnants behind me in this bush, bits of wet wipes dangling like some demented Christmas bauble on this failed Christmas tree. But here on the River Brent, and indeed throughout London, there's a much darker problem here with houses, flats, properties, households not properly connected to the sewage system. Your local water company is the one who is supposed to be tracking and tracing all of these misconnections, all of these dodgy builders. It starts with the building inspector turning up, signing off on work that hasn't been done properly. It starts with a water company that's supposed to trace, identify and speak to the property owner, explaining the problem, encourage them to fix it, and if the property owner does not want to make the investment, the water company is then supposed to hand the case file over to the local authority, whether it be Ealing Council, Brent Council, Barnet Council, and it is ultimately the local council who has the legal authority to take enforcement action and ensure that properties are not illegally dumping sewage into our rivers. Now guess how many people have ever been prosecuted, or guess how many property owners have ever had enforcement action taken against them? The answer is vaguely, we're not sure. No one knows because nobody seems to be doing their job, from the building inspectors to the water companies to the local councils. Everyone sits back, passes the buck, passes the blame, and meanwhile, when this incompetent indecision is going on, the rivers in the very heart of our capital city are being poisoned by incompetence. Welcome to modern Britain. Test number 2. On this occasion, we've done the ammonia test. Now, you will all recall, because you're now obviously all experts in the chemical makeup of waterways throughout England, anything over a 0.3 is toxic to fish, causes gill disease, builds up in the liver, builds up in their organs, slowly poisons the fish, which is rather disappointing when you're a fish and you need water to survive, yet that very, very water is slowly poisoning you. Anything over 0.3, ladies and gentlemen, the River Brent, 0.42, the River Brent is a fail, and I've just been told this little bridge behind me, not that long ago, this river became so toxic, eels were poking their heads out of the river, gasping for breath, just by this little bridge. Ammonia is a toxin, it causes gill disease, it's a fail for the River Brent. Now, I know I've been hogging this series for several weeks now, but the truth is, Feargal is simply standing on the shoulders of giants, and this country is festooned with incredibly dedicated, brilliant local community groups helping out, looking at these rivers, waving flags, writing letters, collecting data, endlessly testing, trying to highlight the destruction and wanton waste that's been caused and laid to all of our rivers. The one here in the River Brent is the quite remarkable, quite brilliant Clean Up the River Brent campaign. They've been driven, focused, heroic in their effort. Gentlemen standing to my right, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Ben from the Clean Up the River Brent campaign. Can I shake your hand, sir? Because I get all the glory. Because I'm the bloke that made a few records, so everybody goes, it's Feargal. It's got nothing to do with me. I apologise, Ben. I know perfectly well it's groups like you and others around the country that's doing all this work. Why on earth did you want to get into this? There you were, sitting minding your own business, and you suddenly thought, oh, I know, I'm the River Brent. Tell us what happened. How did you get here? How have you ended up here today?
It's a beautiful place, as you can see. It's a lovely place, and this river is a gorgeous thing to have in Ealing. It's a great resource for all of us here, and it's much appreciated by us, but it's very polluted. Anyway, one day there was a particularly bad pollution event here back in October 21. Jane was involved in that as well. So Jane and I met through that event. All the way down here was just stinking sewage and white material, and the whole place basically was a sewer. And there'd been an accident upstream, and I just decided, right, I've got to get involved. I really do need to try and do something. I can't really accept this. So as a result of that, I met up with other people, and we just formed a group, and we've just been busy ever since, really doing whatever we can to help sort the river out.
So what do you think is the cause behind all of this? What is actually creating a situation where all of this waste and sewage is ending up in the river?
I think it's mixtures and not enough resources, so investment is required. We've got to sort out the infrastructure, we need better regulation, we need more people on the ground, we need people to care more, and we need to get the investment that's required really to sort out the kind of the broken pipes and all the other things that are going on. We were just talking about misconnections, so we've got bad building practices, we've got all kinds of different routes that's bringing sewage into the river.
Our quest to find a clean river, and I emphasise that, not even the cleanest river, our quest to find a clean river in England continues. Test number 3, ladies and gentlemen, phosphate. Now do remember, anything over 0.03 parts per million is bad, very, very bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the River Brent, here in the heart of London, 0.95, way, way above anything that should be considered healthy. I'm afraid for the River Brent, 3 tests, 3 out of 3, all failed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with another proper star here, a hero. Thank you so much for allowing us to come down and have access to this part of the river today. It's highlighted perfectly and brilliantly what we've been trying to explain to people is going on. We know now what's causing the problem. We know why the problem exists. What, in your mind, what needs to happen?
Well, we need for it to be tidied up, we need the water companies to take the action that they should be taking and not keep pumping sewerage into the rivers. Misconnections need to be sorted out, so that's the local council. So we need all of those people that have got authority to stand up and be counted.
So there you are, there's the complete answer. Those that are doing it, stop it, you're not supposed to be. Those that are there to police, to safeguard and protect this environment, i.e. the councils, the Environment Agency, off what? Go and do your job.